All right, we are looking at the new set that is about to come out in about 2 weeks, Infinite Forbidden, asking the question, should you buy this set or should you skip it and just buy the singles? That's what we're going to be looking at today. How good is Infinite Forbidden? Before I get into that, we do have the winners of the giveaway for the 2,000 subscriber giveaway. So first of all, I do want to thank the community for all the love and support out there. It does mean a ton to us. Also, keep in mind that our Discord is now open. We're going to get that thing really up and running over this weekend coming up. So if you're interested in joining the Discord, just click on that link down below. The other thing I do want to mention is I did a collab with Jay from Fresh Off the Press. It was a lot of fun. He's a great guy. I really enjoyed doing that with him. The link to that video is also in the description. It's over there on his channel. So if you're interested in watching that, it's a pretty long video, about an hour and a half, but it was a lot of fun. We went over a lot of different cards. So if you're interested in watching that as well, click on that link that I've provided in the description, and that will take you over to there. And then the last thing I have, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We are climbing up, hoping to someday hit that 3,000 subscribers. So let me reveal the winners of the giveaway so that we can jump into Infinite Forbidden. All right, here are the winners of the giveaway. So the first winner is PKI6DZ. I'm sure that says something, but I am old and I can't quite figure it out. But you got the Ragnar Rea deck core. Congratulations to you. Shadow Soul JD. You got the Appaloosa. And Big Toe 65, you got the misprint Firewall. I got them all right here. This is the Appaloosa. That is the Platinum. The Firewall misprint with no name right there. And the deck core right there, which means that I got to keep the enemy controller. We'll probably put this up in a future giveaway, so keep your eye out for that as well. So let me just say congratulations to you all. All you've got to do is send me an email to Kotucards, the number 10 at gmail.com. Send me an email with your address and proof that it is actually you. Could just be a screenshot of your YouTube page. That would work for me. And then I can get these out to you. Again, congratulations to you all. We love doing giveaways on the channel. On the next video we're going to have a giveaway on the channel, so stay tuned for that as well. All right, let me get the winners down here. Look, as far as Infinite Forbidden, a lot of people are very high on this set. And there's some good reason to be really high on this set. Some people are a little higher than I think you should be. I've heard a lot of people refer to this set as Age of Overlord Part 2. I don't think that it's Age of Overlord Part 2. I think if you're making that statement, I just think that's a ridiculous statement. As far as, for me, I don't think that I think it's a good set. I'm not saying it's not a good set. But is it Age of Overlord Part 2? I'm a little leery to say that it's Age of Overlord Part 2. So let me bring you up to TCG Player, because I want to show you something that I think people are maybe forgetting. How good Age of Overlord was. I think that's what you're forgetting. I think you're forgetting that Age of Overlord was an amazing set. Is Infinite Forbidden a good set? Yes. Is it this? No. I mean, you're talking SP Little Knight, a staple, an extra deck staple that is run in almost every extra deck. In addition to that, you're talking about Sky Crisis, another extra deck staple that is run in a ton of extra decks. In addition to that, you've got two engines, or one could, you got the Snake Eyes deck or engine in Age of Overlord, and then you got the Horus engine in here as well. And that's just for starters. You also have the Labyrinth card that's really, really good down here. You got the Full Armor Dark Knight that is going to be really good when that water support comes out. Keep an eye on this card. This card is going to go up. It has been steadily going up. Let me just click on this card so you can see. Look at this. This card has steadily been going up. You can see on that chart, it's only going to get worse. I already have my quarter centuries. I already have a bunch of the ultras. This is a very, very good card in water decks. You're gonna wanna get this card. It had that in there. Age of Overlord was just a tremendous set. So to say that Infinite Forbidden is not Age of Overlord is not to say anything bad about Infinite Forbidden. I think it's a really good set. We're going to break it down. Should you buy or should you just skip it and buy the single? So let me, I made a PowerPoint for this one just to kind of go over so that you can see what I'm talking about. So first of all, Infinite Forbidden, you can't talk about Infinite Forbidden without bringing up Fiend Smith. This is the heart and the soul of this set. This is kind of the main mover in this set. Fiend Smith is a light fiend-based archetype. It is not necessarily a deck as much as it is an engine. And this engine can be played in a lot of different decks. You can play this in Snake Eyes, making your Snake Eyes deck even better. You can play this in Yugioh, making Yugioh even better. I'm pretty sure you can play this in Kashtira, making Kashtira even better. You can play this in a lot of the main meta decks that are out there, and it makes all of them better and more consistent. This is a very, very good engine, and it is going to be costly. It's that, you know, part of what makes Infinite Forbidden such a good set is not necessarily the cards that are in there, but the time that it's being released. It's being released right before the massive tournament. And because of that, that is going to mean that players are going to need these cards, particularly what I'm talking about is Fiend Smith, right away. And that is changing this set. It's making it a set that is very much in demand early. Very quickly, you're going to need these cards. Fiend Smith, these cards are coming out as secrets. Now, it is important to note that we don't know all the rarities. So that is something that you need to be aware of. Rarities do matter in is the set worth buying or not. Because if all the good cards are secret rares, then yes, that makes the set worth buying. If you've got a set with, you know, I don't know, 5 garbage secret rares, then it's probably not going to be a set worth buying. But it appears as though this Fiend Smith cards are going to be secret rare. At least the main monster is already confirmed secret rare, so we know that. And this card right now is selling anywhere between $80 to $100. It's expensive. This is a 3 of, so you need 3 of it. So it's going to be expensive. That's going to push people towards buying the sealed rather than the singles and hoping to pull it, because the cards are basically the price of a box. So Fiend Smith, the number 1 mover of this set is in here. Be aware of that. This is not the only Fiend Smith card. There's a bunch of them, but this is kind of the main card. So be aware, Fiend Smith is in here. Another deck that is in here that is being splashed in with other decks is the Whitewoods cards. These are the cards that work with the toy cards. They came out in the last set. They came out, Terminal Revenge. So keep that in mind. If you bought the toy cards do work with the Whitewoods cards, which also works with Centurion as well as Runic. Those are the 2 main areas where these cards are being played. You can play them in some other decks as well. But Runic, Whitewoods with the toy cards, Runic, Centurion with the not Runic Centurion, Whitewood Centurion with the toy cards. These are that is how these are being used primarily. So if you're interested in Whitewoods, know that this also is coming out in Infinite Forbidden. Again, we don't know the rarities of all the cards. So pay attention to the rarities of all the cards. And what I'm saying is, if the majority of the secret rares are expensive, that oftentimes makes it a set that you want to go in on. If half of the secrets are cheap, then oftentimes you want to pass and just buy the singles. Because if you buy a box, you're going to be, if you want to play Whitewoods, you're probably going to be pulling the garbage secrets, missing the Whitewoods. So generally, you would like to know where the secrets are. I'm doing this video a little bit early, just to give you some idea of what's in here and what we can hope for. So Whitewoods is in here. The lore does seem to stem from the Bellstar, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like a prequel, which is neat. It's a synchro-based archetype, so that's why it works with Centurion so well. So keep that in mind. Also, you do have the Light and Darkness Dragon, and it does have some support in here as well. I think you've got 3 cards that are giving support to Light and Darkness Dragon. This is a fusion that can be played in Branded, although I don't think that it's going to be played in Branded a lot because that extra deck is so tight. There's so many good Branded extra deck cards that they really have to sacrifice a lot to scale that deck down. Is this card good enough to make the cut in the Branded deck? I don't think that it will be, but know that this card is in here. People are excited about it. There are also 2 monsters in here as well to help, so keep that in mind as well. You do have Exodia Support in here, of course. Infinite Forbidden would not be Infinite Forbidden without Exodia Support. You got the cover card. I know a lot of people are super excited for the Exodia cards. All you have to say is Exodia Support in here, and you're going to have a lot of people with interest in buying this. It does appear as though the Exodia Support is not going to be in that secret rare, but maybe more in the ultra rare spot. So that is going to keep the price down a little bit, which is very, very nice. If you remember in the last set, you got the Yugioh support in that last set, and like 4 of the secrets in that set were from that Yugioh deck. That made that deck core pretty expensive. It looks like the Exodia deck core is going to be a little bit cheaper. So that's good news for those that are interested in building the Exodia deck, which I know there are many out there. So keep that in mind. That is coming out in this set and looking to be at least ultra or lower, and we feel pretty good about that. Tempi is also getting some support in here. At least 3 new cards are going to be in here to support the Tempi deck. Certainly it will help the deck. Nothing here is going to push the deck above Snake Eyes or Yugioh in my mind. I think those are the 2 main decks that are going into the tournament. But I do think Tempi is right behind them. I think there's really a 3-headed monster here going into the tournament. And this support is going to help, although I don't think anything in Infinite Forbidden is broken as far as Tempi support. Pretty much the same. The deck functions the same way. Maybe a little more consistent, maybe a little stronger, but nothing is going to push it over the edge. But pretty good support in here. So if you play Tempi, know that there are some cards in Infinite Forbidden to help you out as well. The Gimmick Puppet support is super cool in here. It does appear to be pretty low rarity. This is the FTK deck, and it does it pretty well. This deck is good, to be honest with you, and maybe too good. I'm expecting a short leash on this deck, and the way I think of it is like Super Heavy Samurai. If you remember, Super Heavy Samurai got some really good support in Syak, and then immediately got banned. Immediately they destroyed the deck. I would not be surprised if you don't see the same thing take place with Gimmick Puppet, where they get all this support, the deck is really, really good, and then they destroy it on the ban list. That's kind of my mindset for this deck. The good news is most of these cards appear like they're going to be pretty low rarity, just like Super Heavy Samurai was. So you're not going to have to spend a lot of money. So if you're interested in the deck, I would say go for it, build the deck, but know that you might not have the deck for very long. That's kind of where I'm at on that. If it doesn't get hit, then building this deck might be something that really helps you out in the future, because you're going to be able to play this deck, get some nice wins, have some fun with it, and it didn't cost you a lot of money. So I love the fact that it's low rarity, because I'm afraid that it will get hit, kind of like Super Heavy Samurai, but the risk is not that big. If you're interested in it, I would go in and buy it and not worry about it. If it does get hit, no big deal. So you do have the Gimmick Puppet support coming out in here. I'm not looking forward to playing against Gimmick Puppet. You do have Ragnar Rea support in here, at least 2 cards. This set does provide some help for that deck. Is it enough? I don't know, but it does give it specifically some draw power, which is kind of good. It's probably not enough, to be honest. Hopefully there's some more support coming in future sets. The support is interesting. It does help. It's probably not enough to get the deck over the hump, but you do have some support in here. So if you play Ragnar Rea, just know that you've got some cards in Infinite Forbidden. Momento is also getting 2 cards in here. This is a little bit different from Ragnar Rea, because I think this support actually does put it over the edge. I think this support really helps this deck. And maybe this might be the deck that I am most interested in seeing what it can do on the big stage coming up with the new support coming out. I'm excited to see this deck. I was interested in this deck when it first came out, but it was so bad that I thought, nah, I'm not going to do it. And then the new support got announced, and these cards immediately spiked up. I missed my window, but if I wouldn't have missed my window, I would have been trying to play this deck. I think it's an interesting deck. So Momento is getting some support in here. Keep that in mind as well. You do have some Drytron support in here, at least 2 cards. Although Drytron players are excited for the support, The support is really limited. It does kind of lock you into machine rituals, which is kind of the bummer of the new support. So it's probably not the support that's going to save Drytron. But if you are a Drytron player, it's definitely cards that you're going to want to have access to that can make the deck do some different things, but it also limits the deck a little bit as well. Centurion is getting some nice support in here. So support not just in the Whitewoods cards, but actually Centurion support as well. Get at least 2 cards in here, but then take the Whitewoods cards, partner it with the Centurion cards, and I think Centurion all of a sudden becomes a pretty big contender out here, or at least it has the potential. We'll see what actually transpires, but Konami seems determined to continue giving this deck support, and so instead of banning Calamity, now they just keep coming up with more ways that the deck can make Calamity, which is kind of funny to me, because I thought that they were going to ban Calamity, Centurion would be dead in the water, but instead they just keep coming out with more support. And the more support is giving them more creative ways to make Calamity. And instead of banning it, they just keep it. And they keep Centurion, they keep making it better. So I don't know what Konami's doing with this. Maybe they like the idea of the Calamity lock. It seems like something they generally try to ban and do away with. But as far as Centurion goes, if I were a Centurion player, this is a great set. I'd be super excited for the Whitewoods cards. I'd be super excited for the new support coming out. I love what they're doing with Centurion. Another deck that I passed on that I probably, given another shot at it, I probably would have built Centurion. Instead, I did Goblin Bikers, which is nowhere to be found. Like, no love, no support for Goblin Bikers. When it gets love and support, it's pretty garbage. So I'm pretty disappointed with the Goblin Bikers, but that's another thing. All right, Centurion. Now, moving away from that. So we looked at the new archetypes coming out. We looked at the archetypes that are getting support. Now I want to look at the individual cards that are worth noting in this set. You do have the Top Hat Hair in here. It's the first Illusion Link card, which is pretty cool. This can set a trap that can special summon as a monster. So think about the Swamp Deity, which I told you was a good card when that sucker came out a long time ago. The Angel Statue, I have always loved this card. When we first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I built a fairy deck. It was called Dad's Stupid Fairy Deck that never wins. And in that fairy deck, I played this card, the Angel Statue. I love this card. I'm excited for the opportunity for this card to get good. But that's kind of what this card does. It's pretty cool card. I'm excited for it. Definitely going to get one of those. Plus, I love the art. It's kind of spooky, but not spooky. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. You do get the Moon of the Closed Sky. We were not sure we were going to get this card. This is the card that brings Fiend Smith together. This is the card that makes everything work as best as it can. So this is definitely a card that people have their eye on. And it appears as though this card is being given to us in super rare. Now, I've heard somebody, at least one person, speculate that was just because they didn't reveal the card and they weren't revealing the rarity of the card. They were just revealing that it's being released and that it's actually going to be a secret. I'm not sure about that. So I'm not 100% sure that it is a super, but I think it's more possible that it's a super than it's going to be a secret. So I'm excited for that. This is going to be accessible if it is a super rare. It's a really cool card. It's the baby goddess. So I love that this card is in here. So keep that in mind. That is in here as well. You do have the Dark Magician in here. It is coming in as an ultra rare. I also, along with Robbie, thought that this card would just automatically be given a secret rare spot. I love that it's given an ultra rare spot because the card's probably not going to be expensive. And it would have taken up one of those secret rare spots that you would have been pulling this instead of the Fiend Smith. So, there's going to be a lot of demand for this card. Obviously, it's a Dark Magician card, but it does appear as though it's coming in as an Ultra. So this card is in here as well. And then you get to probably the second biggest chase in this set. You've got Malchamy in here. This is kind of, this is Maxi 2, Baby Maxi, the new Maxi, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people are really high on this card. And I'm pretty high on it, but I'm not as high as a lot of people. And that's because... first of all, I do think this is a card that you're going to want to have, and you're going to want to have it at 3. I look at this card as like Kurikara Divine Incarnate. So when that card came out, everybody said, this is the anti-Nibiru. This is the new Nibiru. And everybody compared it to Nibiru. It was like Nibiru, but a little bit different. And so what is Divine Kurikara right now is a very good card that everybody should have a playset of, because sometimes the card is meta relevant, but sometimes it's not. What I'm bringing up is it's kind of like Nibiru, but it's not as good as Nibiru. Nibiru is still a better card. It is still the card that is played in more formats than Kurikara. That doesn't mean that Kurikara isn't a good card. It just means it's not quite Nibiru. And I think the same thing with this card in Maxi. Now, obviously, we can't play Maxi in the TCG, but in the OCG, Maxi is in every deck and in every format. Is this card going to be a card that is a 3 of in every deck, in every format? I don't think so. I think this card is going to be format dependent. I think sometimes you're going to play less than 3. And so, is it a great card? Am I super happy that this card now exists? Yes, I love it. I think that you should make sure that you go out and you get your 3. But at the same time, I don't think that this is Maxi. I don't think that this equals Maxi. I don't think that the price is going to hold. I think this card is going to drop in price. I think that this is probably like, I might be wrong. I haven't done all the research on it, but first initial take is that I would say this is a $30 card. I'd be comfortable at a $30 price. Right now, this card's coming in like anywhere between $60 and $80, something like that. So I don't see it as that kind of card. That's all that I'm saying about it. Great card. I'm going to make sure that I get some. I think you should make sure that you get this card, at least a play set of it. But I don't see it as kind of the meta-defining card that is going to be in every meta in every deck. So that's where I'm kind of at on that. I think that's the last card I had. It is the last card I had, except I did want to talk about my favorite card, Oil, a little bit. I talked about this card on the collab I did with Jay on Fresh Off the Press. This was my card of the day. I said buy this card. It was around $3.25, I think, when I said that. It might have been a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but it was around $3. And I said $10 for a play set. This is a good buy. You should go in and buy it. You can see the hook on the chart down below. Let me get that. Right there, you can see the hook. This card has started going up. It's now around $4.50. approaching $5. It's not going to be long till this card hits $5. So if you are interested in oil, just be aware it's a $5 card. That's what I got to you on Infinite Forbidden. Should you buy? If you're interested in the Fiend Smith, I think that this is a set that you might want to buy, because you can get the Fiend Smith and you can get the Malchamy and you can get, you know, a lot of the other cards, the Top Hat Hair, the baby goddess, you know, all those kind of cards, and it does make it worth it. If you're not interested in Fiend Smith, if you have no interest in playing that deck, then this is a set that I would probably just go in and buy the singles on, to be honest with you, because if Malchamy does fall down to around a $30 card, you're going to be able to pick up your playset for $90, something like that. Grab the rest of them. So basically, if you want Fiend Smith, buy this set. That's my advice to you. If you're passing on Fiend Smith, then I would pass on buying the sealed, and I would just buy the singles that you want. That's what I got for you today. My name is Todd from Code2 Cards, and I am out of here. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Just do it. I know a lot of people are afraid of hitting the subscribe button. I know I was afraid of hitting the subscribe button for a long, long time. It doesn't do anything. All it does is make it so that my videos show up in your feed. You can unsubscribe at any time. Hit that subscribe button. Just hit it. My name's Todd from Code2 Cards. I'm out of here. Maybe I'm out of here. I was getting better at this. I really was.